My name is Robert and I am 23 years old. I currently use a Tobii i-Series device for all my communication needs. I also use it for emails, operation of smart devices, social media and my website. I hope to be able to use it for texting, but I haven't quite got that yet. When I first started to learn to communicate, I was using picture books and objects. Now I use a dedicated device and have been since about 7 years old. I have been through many devices and many programs for operating those devices. Without a communication device, it is pretty difficult to say what I want to say. I can only say yes or no. I raise my right hand to say yes and my left hand to say no. It isn't a perfect communication system, but I can at least answer yes and no as long as it's formed into a yes or no question.
Message window. Delete. Clear. Health. Control words. Quick social.
Quick social.
Message window. Delete. Clear. Yes.
Yes.
Message window.
Yes.
Message window. Delete. Clear. Health.
Health.
Message window. Delete. Clear. I'm feeling different. Suction.
Suction.
Message window.
Yes, I need a suction.
Message window. Delete. Clear. Health. Control words.
Control words.
Delete. Clear. Can't see. Closer. Different. My break. How many more? Stop talking, please. I'm not ready. More information. Great job. Changed mind.
Changed mind. Yes, I need a suction. I've changed my mind. I am a single-switch linear scanner, and I rely on auditory preview. I do not use group scanning. I use linear, which means the device scans every single button instead of groups of buttons. I use 2 different voices for scanning. The first voice you hear is a female voice, which is my auditory preview. This voice is for my benefit. It tells me where I am in my scan. The voice that matters to you, the listener, is the male voice, the voice that speaks for me. I use a switch placed at the left side of my head to operate my device. When I hit my switch, I activate the scan, which talks in a female voice. My device will highlight every single button, one at a time. Once it reaches the button I want, I hit my switch again and it talks in the male voice. The scan will then start over at the beginning so I can continue with my sentence if I need to. If I do not touch my switch when it is scanning, It will continue to scan and speak in the female voice for 3 rounds. It will then stop scanning. If I want to say more, I will need to hit my switch again to reactivate the scan. I need to be sure my pages are set up consistent and more efficient for scanning. Every page has several buttons that stay in the same location no matter what page I'm on. These buttons are the message window, delete button, clear button, and go back. The message window says my complete message after I have compiled it. The delete and clear are for the words in my message window. The go back is a way to get off the page if I do not want to be on it. It takes me back to my home page. I also have my 3 most important buttons at the beginning of my boards on every main page. The main home page is the start of my boards. Also, every category is a main page. The 3 most important buttons are my health page, my control words, and quick social. I always need a way to request a medical intervention, so my health page scans first. My second button would be my control words, so I can say things like I can't see or I want something different. The third button is my quick social button, so I can say yes or no. Most of my pages close out as soon as I make a choice and go back to the home main page, so it makes communication quicker. I also try to limit the amount of pages in each category so I don't have to scan several pages to say what I want. Some drawbacks to scanning with auditory preview are my communication partners do not understand to only listen to the male voice. They often answer to the female voice even though they have been told not to. Another drawback is getting people to stay interested in conversations because it takes time for me to say what I need to say. Because of this, I have what is known as pre-stored messages, so I can say many things at a time, and I don't need to build every word in my sentence. I love taking photographs, but I don't want to use a phone or tablet. I want to use a real camera. My device has a camera, but it takes a horrible picture. I operate my camera using my iPad. To control my iPad to take pictures with my camera, I need a switch interface, which gives me the ability to use my switch. I connect my switch interface via Bluetooth and I turn on scanning on my iPad. When I take pictures, I need someone to hold and position my camera, and I use my device to tell them what I want to take a picture of. I use a switch to operate my iPad, and when I am ready, I hit my switch and it snaps the picture. I can then tell someone if I want to retake or go to the next photo using my device. My biggest challenge is not being able to have both my iPad and my device in front of me. So for now I have my iPad on my device mount. I have someone holding my device and someone holding my camera. Someday I will be totally independent when taking photos and communicating. My other passion is being an advocate for accessibility. I believe to truly make everything accessible, you need to understand the barriers, and who better than someone who uses a wheelchair? I became an advocate in 2018 for the Mass Office on Disability. I now go to businesses, parks, playgrounds, just about anywhere, and I assess them. Using my communication device, I choose the place I want to go check out. I choose the area I want to assess, such as ramps, handicap parking, accessible entrances, access to second floors, emergency exits, bathrooms, etc. I then assess if it's up to code on both state and federal laws. I write up a report using my communication device and what needs to be fixed or what is being done correctly. I really love doing this job and opening up the eyes of the public. This year I did a presentation to the Department of Public Works on how I was not able to access a building due to snow. This building is where I go for speech therapy 2 times a week. We had 5 snowstorms, and for almost 4 weeks because of poor snow removal I was not able to go to speech therapy. I did the presentation to them on my Toby and the slideshow on my iPad. They listened and respected what I had to say, and they are making changes to how they plow this area. I felt like I made a real change for the future, and this is the reason I want to be an advocate for accessibility. Accessibility work.
When you're ready. Do you need help getting your head back for a second? I can do that for you. Okay, big guy, nice and close.
Accessibility barrier. Accessibility barrier. Accessibility barrier.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, Miss Photo. I am Robert Owelek. Thank you for meeting with me today. I would like to show you some barriers I have run into this winter. Sue will be helping me with my iPad slideshow while I talk to you.
Next.
This is my barrier, the unplowed snow.
Next. Next. Next.
Even this much ice makes it impossible to get through in my wheelchair.
Doing good, bud.
Next. Next.
As you can see, the road is clear. The ramp is clear, but this compacted snow and ice are blocking my only entrance into the building.
Next.
After the last storm and phone call, this section was somewhat clear, but still not accessible to me.
Next. Next.
This is me walking in the road.
Doing good.
Next.
Good job, bud.
Next.
And this mound of snow causes me to travel in the road. This mound has been present since the second storm.
Next.
Traveling in the road is very dangerous at this intersection because no one stops at this stop sign.
I have questions.
Next.
Get through the presentation.
This day was particularly upsetting. As you can see, someone went over the snow instead of clearing it.
Next.
Please watch this clip for a partial snow removal but no road or ramp clearance. Part of the sidewalk was cleared, but a mound of snow was blocking the path to the entrance. There were several barriers.
Give me a sec, bud.
Next.
Robert, hold on, hon.
Wait 1 second.
Next.
Here, I am still walking in the road. Here, I am still walking in the road.
Next. Next.
Doing great, bud.
Next.
Melting snow and rain on this day was treacherous. Melting snow and rain on this day was treacherous.
Next. Next. Next.
And when there is no snow or ice, this bump makes it incredibly difficult for my mother to push me. I have come close to tipping over.
Next. Next.
Due to the snow, ice, and water blocking my path to compass, I was unable to attend my communication therapy 5 times this winter. I missed 7.5 hours of therapy. This upset me very much.
Last. Last.
Thank you very much for meeting with me today to hear my concerns on accessibility issues I have had this winter. I look forward to collaborating with you on a resolution. My other interest that I have really started getting into is garment printing. I use a switch bot to operate a garment printer where I can print on shirts, hats, masks, sweats, just about anything that is 100% cotton. I use my device to tell someone what I want to print. I can even go out and take pictures and then print the pictures on a shirt or hat. The switch bot is pretty cool. I operate it using my iPad. The switch bot has an arm on it. After I hit the button on my iPad, it operates the arm, which hits the print button on my printer. It helps me to be independent with my printing. The only thing I can't do myself is load the shirt on the printer, but I can choose everything else by using my device. Right now I am doing a project for COVID-19. I have taken all the pictures myself to highlight the good parts of this pandemic. I went to family and friends' houses and took pictures of them at home holding signs and wearing masks. I also went to areas around Massachusetts and took pictures of statues wearing masks, signs, buildings, and medical workers. I am now going to put it together by writing a blog about the pictures I have taken. I will also be interviewing some of the people in the pictures to get their feelings and thoughts on how they have handled this pandemic. Some have not been able to graduate the traditional way. Some have hit drive-by birthday celebrations, online learning, etc. I will use my device to interview them, then I will add it to my blog along with the pictures. The project kind of took on a life of its own and turned into much bigger than I expected. The thing I have found over the years is not a lot of companies understand people who use scanning as a way to communicate. They don't understand how long it takes to communicate, especially if you are a linear scanner. We need a program that will take the least amount of hits to say something. When I say hits, I mean how many buttons and levels do I need to go through before I have made my point. When using a program that is made for eye gaze or direct select users, it does not work the same for the user who scans. Direct select users can touch the button they want, and eye gaze users can look directly at what they want and have the button speak for them. A linear scanner needs to scan every single button to get to where they need to go. Then when it goes to another page, they have to scan another whole set of buttons. This takes time. So I want to limit the amount of hits I make so I can say what I need to say in the quickest amount of time. For me, it's hard when someone asks me a question but doesn't wait for the answer. They think I'm just saying random words and not answering their question, but what I am really doing is trying to answer them. Worse is when they talk over me to someone else, looking for them to answer the question instead of talking directly to me. What used to happen to me a lot, when I was in school, they would pull my switch away from my head because I was talking when they were talking, or they would hold my head so I couldn't touch my switch to operate my device. I would never cover their mouth with tape to prevent them from talking, so they shouldn't do this to me. It's rude. They are preventing me from talking, and they are trying to control what I say. I know auditory preview can be annoying, and I try hard to keep silent until it's my turn to speak, but sometimes I need to know my device is ready for when need to say something, and hearing my scan comforts me. I love having my device, being able to communicate and being respected for the contribution I am giving to the conversation. Without my device, I would not be able to be involved in the way I want and have the right to be. We all have a voice and we should be able to use it whether it is computerized or natural. Speaking of voices, my device voice is one of thousands of other device users. Anyone who has a device can use the same voice, so there is nothing that identifies me to my voice. My mother would not be able to pick me out of a crowd with other device users with the same voice. Think of how that would make you feel. I had an opportunity to get a unique voice for my device that would only be mine. We had a voice unveiling with family and friends, and I was super disappointed because no one could understand me. I didn't want to talk using it. Not a lot of devices can use this technology for a voice, but mine can. I contacted the company after trying it out for a while and requested another voice. I told them no one could understand me and I was not happy with the voice. They are working with me to get another voice that will be much clearer. I can't wait to have a voice of my own.